Turning to the European migrant crisis, France, Italy and Germany have agreed to join forces to identify migrants arriving by sea and to swiftly relocate them across the European Union if they qualify for asylum. Those whose claims are rejected will be returned to their home countries. Now, the arrival of thousands of migrants who make perilous Mediterranean crossings from Libya is straining the resources of Italy and Greece and raised tensions with northern European states that are the destinations of many migrants. At the Vatican on Wednesday, Pope Francis called for respect for migrants and suggested that people and institutions who close doors to them should seek forgiveness from God.
I encourage the work of all those who bring their help, and I hope that the international community will act in a harmonious and effective way to prevent the causes of forced migration.
Well, the Pope said those seeking refuge are seeking a home where they can live without fear. Well, for more on the crisis, Itayi Viriri, a spokesperson for the International Organization of Migration, joins us live via Skype from Geneva, Switzerland. Mr. Viriri, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much.
Now, this crisis has been ongoing. It's kind of moving in slow motion. But first, give us a take of the talks that have been ongoing in Europe. And as we mentioned, the position taken by European ministers yesterday.
So basically, I mean, after the tragedy where we saw, very sadly, more than 800 people dying in the Mediterranean around the 18th of April, the European Union was forced into action to try and come up with ways of avoiding these kind of tragedies. And they first came up with a 10-point plan, which was later sort of affirmed when they gave specifics in terms of, for example, improving the sea and rescue efforts, and also trying to see how the numbers of refugees could be spread across the European Union.
Yeah.
What we see now is the struggle to actually get those proposals to actually get them into tangible action. So right now, the difficulty that we're seeing, especially with the meeting today and in recent days, is that some countries are not willing to take in a quota of those resettled refugees. So, for example, some of the Eastern European countries are saying that they do not think they can handle those kind of numbers. You also have within the European Union countries like the UK, Denmark and Ireland who are not part of this kind of arrangement. So already we are seeing those kind of splits that certainly are putting more pressure on Italy and Greece, which are the two countries that have been getting most of these migrants who are trying to get into Europe.
And talking about the migrants' source, I mean, they're coming from Africa. What are you hearing from the Africa Union, for example? What is their plan here?
Well, we were hopeful that the recent African Union summit in Johannesburg would have had this as the key topic of discussion. But obviously, as we all know, the summit was somewhat hijacked by the issue of the Sudanese president and the ICC. What we are saying, though, is that, and actually echoing what President Zuma of South Africa has said himself during the summit, that the responsibility, a certain degree of responsibility, does lie on the on the African leaders, where most of these people are coming from, because one, there's either persecution, there are no options for young people who want to get jobs, education. So he has said himself, and I think even on your website you have the story there where he says the blame also should lie on the leaders. But we are expecting that the African Union actually does more than it is doing now. That this should be
we'll be on the lookout for this. Itayi Viriri, thank you very much for joining us today. Well, Itayi Viriri is a spokesman for the International Organization of Migration.